welcome to my next... I'm facing the wrong way. I always do that. I really gotta get better at this whole, like, knowing where I'm supposed to face. So, you may have noticed that my volume is now correct from my microphone. I'm no longer using the pre-processing thing that I was using before, which is great because screw that thing. Also, I want to point out that I don't have a whole lot of things that I can dedicate right now. There's not a whole lot of revenue I can dedicate from these videos. If there was more, I would dedicate it all. But so basically, this is going to be brought to you. Brought to you by not really an affiliation with. However, a great charity that I would like to bring some attention to: Child's Play. Child'sPlayCharity.org is the website. At the end of this video, there will be a end card. That's what they're called. There'll be an end card for how to donate to that, and strongly recommend donating to them because they're a really great charity. They get people to donate and buy video games, consoles, and other kinds of game toys for kids that are in the hospitals or if they're in shelters from domestic violence, stuff like that, or abuse. So, really great charity, helps some kids that are having a bad time and gives them something to escape from their, bad situation. So, yeah, encourage you to donate to that. But, sorry to open things up on a kind of sad note, but no, it's a happy note because, charities like that exist, and that's great. Alright, so, last week left off on in an inn, so I'd actually have some ability to get some rest experience, and as you can see, I've got like a full bar of rest EXP, so that's outstanding. I'm going to go ahead and just start queuing for dungeons right away and see how long that takes. So another thing I'm putting in the end cards, completely unrelated to the charity, is and I have to not use my mechanical keyboard because it's going to be super loud in my microphone now because I boosted the volume a lot and got rid of all the filtering. So I actually need to get like a thing. Not this again. I need to get a filter of sorts so I can get rid of the clicking noises that are bound to happen. But yeah, the one of the things that I wanted to ask is, what do you think the best tank in the game
I can't
is?
do that.
So, my preference, because my first character in tank was a paladin actually. My first tank was a paladin.
I can't do that.
I think it's really long.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Tanks are a lot higher supply. Paladin's not a bad tank. You got the ability to do a little bit of self-heal. You got some defensive cooldowns.
Not
I'm not a master of paladins. I can't speak much. Now, that's nice on the other hand. Blood, I've been tanking with blood since Death Knights came out. People were saying, you can't tank with blood, you're supposed to tank frost. And I was like, yeah, frost presence does great. That's how you're supposed to do it. Back then, frost presence was the thing to do. People started doing what I was doing, blood tanking, because it just works so much better. The fact that you can self-heal yourself to the point where your healers don't even need that much. Yeah,
none can stand against the Serpent Lords.
It's too far away.
Keep myself up on boss I wish I could remember offhand the name of the
Can't do that. Can't do that.
Eventually breaks up. I guess the point we were fighting about head back. But yeah, it gets to the point where you're fighting like just a bunch of these different little offshoots.
I can't
Splits
do
up
that
and
yet.
it doubles it kind of. doubles. Like after it splits once, it splits into two, then it splits into four. Are you guys gonna come down here, or are they just gonna do their own thing? Yeah, I'm just gonna go down here. Well, people just follow the damn leader. That's the point. Later on, I think people start to understand that. Yeah, you follow the tank because the tank knows what it's doing. I can't do stuff for whatever reason. But anyway, I guess they mark me. Hooray! No, I am a skull. Screw you. That's what I am. I like being a skull. Anyway, yeah, Death Knight tank's my favorite, but you can't discount warrior tanks. Warriors do. I'd say most of the times when I've tanked with my Death Knight, which was, pardon me, that's my. Most of the times I've tanked my Death Knight. It's usually with the warrior. They damage pretty well. Pretty good too. Kept up with that. But yeah, warriors are good tanks. I mean, it's. And then, monks. I've never used a monk for endgame tanking.
The coils of death.
I've gotten with tanks. I can't do that. Having but so there's that. You also got druid tanks. Now druid tanks, they used to be like super OP. Maybe it's burning to say. They were real good. Because you can't slow them down, you can't root them really. They have, like, I think just the way that fires work out here made it really useful. But they were good tanks too. Pretty good. So maybe druid's your thing. So I think I've covered all of that. Druid, monk, warrior, to be because it's like the only other class besides opening questions. I think you have to have. You have to do those. Not that that's really particularly hard anymore. You automatically get a level 100.
It's too far away.
You will never wake the dreamer.
I can't do that yet.
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna sit back
I
here.
need to get closer.
By any means, an expert. I would say I'm not even that good with them. You know, if you know how to tank, you generally know how to tank. You know, that's pretty much the way that works. But yeah,
I can't do
I
can't do
that.
that.
Super turtle wall.
I need a target.
But yeah, I'm not that great with warrior tanks, but yeah, every tank basically functions the same, so it's really just getting to know how to use your skills for the most part. Oh, there's a new gun that I can do. Is this gonna be the only one? Oh, dead mines, rage fire, I don't know, like a lot of people, when the game first came out, Dead Mines was it was really cool back then because, I mean, it's basically
It's too far away.
the video game equivalent of the movies. You're just like going through the game.
I can't do that
You
yet.
kind of had an idea what was going on with the story, but at the same time, not. Like there weren't so many, not so many instance quests and stuff. I mean, back in Vanilla WoW, everything was basically, it just was what it was. There was nothing special about it. So if you had, right. So if you had if you were reading the story, that was the only way to know what the hell was going on. Like there was never really a part where
It's too far away.
there were very few parts where
I'm out of
you
range.
like
Can't do that.
some character came out, and that didn't really happen that much back then. Just, yeah, here's the guy that you're fighting because you're back here because alright. I was the kind of guy who read the flavor text because that's a big part of it. It makes me happy. Yeah, I like the flavor text. I like, knowing why I'm doing something. Why am I fighting these Defias guys? Who are they? What do they do? Why am I pissed off at them? And it wasn't enough for me to just go, oh, here's some guys. I'm gonna kill them because. Which actually reminds me.
Not enough.
I do like watching.
I can't do that yet.
I don't really agree with a good number of the series because a lot of them are things. But are really just random. I'll get to it there. But he did a video recently that was about why he gave the Pope
I'm
a
out of
copy
range.
of which Undertale is probably one of the best games that I've played in, I don't know, the past year or so. To me, it worked out. It was a better game than it.
I can't do
Fallout.
that. I can't do that. I can't do that.
No,
I can't do that.
I can't really think of anything else. Well, obviously, that's how few good games there have been lately. But Undertale, even though it goes to that retro style, and it's really heavily, borrowing from games like Earthbound, Earthbound in general, it does kind of its own thing. But I'll go back to that. I'll go back to it later. But you know, the main thing was Matt Pat did a video on why he gave the Pope a copy of Undertale. Which he didn't give him a copy, he gave him a game. He doesn't own a computer, so I'm sure the guy's not going to go and download the game and play it and tweet about how it looks. But, yeah, it's still, I think that was a pretty neat little gesture that he did there. And this video explains it, and basically he wanted the Pope to see that guys, or video gamers, aren't all about just killing the monster, right? If you ever watched a playthrough or played through the Halloween hack of Earthbound that Toby Fox did, there's a lot of call with that, where, you know, the last boss is just kind of like, it's kind of sad. At least the first part of it, where he's like, here, you're going to kill me. Whatever. You're going to do what you're going to do, and that's it. Like, you're so full of hate, and I don't know why, blah, 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 but I'm the monster, you have to kill me. And it's like, okay, cool. And it's like, okay, it's one of those things that makes you question, like, in every game, why do you end up why is that control? Why is there never a peaceful resolution? And in his other game, and his only, or not only game, but his I would say masterpiece. So Undertale, he basically gives the option of you don't have to kill anything. You can legally play through the game without ever
range.
I am the Serpent King.
Spoilers here. If you haven't played that game, definitely play it. If you're a fan. He talks about art. They're not. It doesn't stand for like level or LV or LOV. Basically, your level was your LOV, and that was level of violence. So it was like however many things you killed, that's how you get experience. So that's how that works. Like, that was a neat way of looking at that. Because I mean, it's kind of it. I mean, basically, every game. I heard that one. But I mean, I can't win this by. I can't look at the monster and be like, look, man, we don't want to fight you. We just want to rescue this Parallax guy. Yeah, that game is pretty cool just because of that. And he wanted the Pope to see, at that place, he wanted the Pope to see that, you know, gamers aren't all about, hey, let's go and kill everything. And, you know, we're not Call of Duty players. We're not all Assassin's Creed players, even though I like Assassin's Creed, not so much Call of Duty. And I like Assassin's Creed for story elements, not necessarily because I'm a big fan of just like clicking through and, I mean, if you're playing Assassin's Creed for, you know, deep gameplay and combat mechanics, not really the game that you'd want to go to. Like, it's more for, you know, sneaking around and killing people in kind of bugged out ways is the best way to make it through that game. But I still like it, and it's because of the story. The story is really good. Everything about it is good.
The winds guide you.
Well, most of them, obviously.
I've
Unity
been
was maybe
expecting
not a
you.
very good one. Although, I mean, if you can get past the bugs and some of the other bad gameplay decisions they had, the story's not bad, and the next game really links into it well, like, really well. And, actually, what really links into it was, I guess it was, I don't know if it's considered a sequel, Assassin's Creed Rogue, because that one, I'm not going to spoil that for anybody, but that was a really good games, and I enjoy them, but I also really enjoyed the option to not have to kill everything. I enjoyed being able to go through the story and progress and, you know, develop a connection with the characters, not just, let's kill everything because that's the thing to do. You know? Kind of like, I'll go back to James Rolfe with AVGN, where he's doing his Ghostbusters. He's doing his Ghostbusters video. And he's talking about why you busted? What did they do? They have a big competitor. Why you busted? You're busted. It's a pretty good question. It's relevant. It's like, yeah, why the hell are you killing these guys? Like, or like, kind of, why are you killing these guys? Like, what did they do wrong? They're just kind of hanging out.
It's too far away.
Not really doing scary. They're not hurting anybody. They ain't bothering me. Nobody got time for that.
Let's do that.
But yeah. I remember this game before. I didn't dislike achievements. I think they're not bad. I think they definitely have a place.
I can't do that.
Because
I can't do that.
playing the game is like, I think, you know, getting maximum level, sure. Not a bad achievement to have, you know. Only if it's the maximum level, not the, you know, this is the first time I'm playing it type thing. Gotta drink my fuel source. Need the Pepsi. Gotta move the headache tonight too, so try to work through that. Yeah. But yeah, it was a neat thing. So, yeah, I talked about Undertale. Really good game. Definitely play that one if you haven't played it. But so, just want to address the elephant in the room as far as Matt's theory with the. So he had this theory they did where Sand was again. And Undertale, but one of the characters, Sans, he said that character was, what's it called? He's trying to compare Sans to Ness and say that Sans is actually Ness because, excuse me, because Sans, basically, because Sans stands is one thing, but then because Sans has telekinetic powers, which a couple of the characters do, not just him, also because he says a couple of things kind of like he's talking about he says that basically Sans will
I am
end up
awake at last.
In the Undertale world because essentially if Ness had gone and used the time machine, pretty much, it wasn't really a time machine. I can't remember what the hell the damn name of the thing was, but basically this spaceship looking thing that they flew around in. So he says that if Ness had used that, it may have taken him to an alternate timeline, but he used it without being in a robot body, so it got rid of his organic material, which is why he's just bones. But that doesn't make sense, because why the he said that Pyrus would be might have been a Starman because of a symbol on his battle his battle outfit, which by the way was a costume that he made like a few days ago according to the game, so he wasn't a Starman just because he has a similar symbol on his uniform. Because they explained why. Obviously, there's a lot of Earthbound references. Yes, there are Earthbound references in Undertale because Toby Fox really liked Earthbound. So yeah, that makes sense. And he probably drew some inspiration of some of the characters from Earthbound. But no, not everything lines up perfectly. Like, he tried to say that the broken machine behind the curtain in Sans' special room, if you can get there, is
What
clearly
can I do for you?
time machine.
Look hard.
Which you're not.
Farewell.
There's nothing supporting that. It's just him making a wild assumption guess. Not even assumption, just a guess, random guess, saying, "Oh, it's got to be that behind there." Like, no, it doesn't have to be that. And he also says that, well, there's these pictures in a book, and they, he refers to them as 3 people in the book. Well, yeah, he refers to them as 3 people, but all the monsters don't refer to each other as monsters. They refer to each other as people as well. So, I mean, everybody lived together before the monsters got put into the underworld, so they're still people. Even though they're not humans, they're people. It's kind of a weird concept, but anyway. And aside from that, I think there was some other thing about that I thought of that didn't make sense. Like, yeah, it's pictures of them, 3 people you didn't recognize. I mean, he basically tried to say that the 3 people in the photos that you didn't recognize must have been, Paula, Pooh, and I can't remember the name of the nerd kid. Tom, maybe? I don't remember. But yeah, it's like that doesn't really check. They were really just kind of saying, yeah, this is just a thing, and cool. And then they mentioned a badge, and then you're like, well, what's the point of the badge? Does the badge mean something? No, it's just a badge. You can't assume it's the Franklin badge just because, oh, it must have been the Franklin badge. No, it's just a badge. He could have been referring to a Franklin badge just because he liked using stuff from Earthbound. That makes perfect sense. And I would say, yeah, it's highly likely that Ness or Sans is heavily drawn upon, or Ness is heavily drawn upon his inspiration for Sans. That's completely, I get it. I understand that's what they're trying to do. But that's what he's trying to say. But no, it's not. That doesn't make them the same character just because he talks about it. Anyway, I think I've talked enough about MatPat and his game theories and all that stuff, but whatever. One thing I did really want to talk about that I hate and I found out recently is, I knew that when James Rolfe made a video about the new Ghostbusters movie and saying that he just wasn't going to watch it, which he didn't say anything, I don't think even remotely misogynistic. He just said he wasn't going to watch it because people asked him to watch it, and he said, I'm not going to review it because I'm not going to watch it because I have no interest in it. I've seen the trailers, it doesn't look like something I want to watch, so I'm not going to watch it. And that's cool. Don't watch it. And, he can, and if he wants to tell people he's not going to watch it, great, that's his right, he can do that. He's not under anyone's, no one is requiring him to watch it, so there's no reason why anybody would get mad by him saying he's not going to watch it. But people are saying that he's misogynistic because he's saying he's not going to watch a movie that he knows he's not going to like. Because, let's face it, the movie looks like shit. It's every one of those characters in those movies are basically
go forth to victory.
Like, I hate Melissa McCarthy or whatever the hell her name is. Every movie she's been in, she has been the worst part of that movie. And that's, sure, you can take that as I don't like women actors, but that's not true at all because I like other women actors. I like Tina Fey. I thought she was actually pretty good. I watched that movie, what was it called, Sisters or something? I don't freaking know. We watched that at one point, and I was stuck in a place I couldn't leave, and that movie was on, and we watched it. I'm not proud of it. But yeah, it definitely had some funny moments to it. And I liked those actors. I thought they were her and the other girl, the girl that used to be in the Upright Citizens Brigade. I really like her. They're both pretty funny. But Melissa McCartney, no, she's not funny. She's just, I don't know. It's like she wants to be a female version of Chris Farley, but not funny. I don't know. I don't get it. Let's start another dungeon. I already have 3 levels. I don't know how long we've been going for. What time is it? It's about half an hour. Yeah. I don't think she's funny. I don't like her at all. But I really didn't like her once I found out what she was saying about basically the fans. Essentially, she said she did not, or essentially she made some crack about how all the people who didn't like the movie basically need to move out of their parents' basement because they're probably 45 years old and blah blah blah, something like that. It's like, alright. So you're gonna talk about how are you guys gonna try to play the misogynistic, sexist card? And then you're gonna say some shit like that to really just alienate the hell out of them. You realize that this movie is trying to sell. You just told everybody that piece of crap. They're idiots. They suck. You just insulted them. I can't do that. Just like, what the hell is wrong with you? What? Are you stupid? Like, she has to be. I can't understand what. I can't say that yet. They don't understand the spirit of those movies. They don't understand, the whole point. I like to think about movies that were good as good. Get reboots that suck, and bad things don't get reboots. Kind of. They're only bad most of the time because they put out bad things. Except for that. Maybe, so you could definitely call, bad. Although I would say it was terrible. It was just a movie. Like that was funny. I liked it for what it was, but it wasn't a faithful, adaptation of the comic series. Which I get that. People want to see a faithful adaptation of a comic series they like. Yeah, great. That's nothing wrong with that. And I think the movie that they did was like the newer reboot of it was actually not bad. I thought that was actually okay. It played to the darker elements of the character, and that's a good thing. Just like you get. I mean, if there were reboots of anything, we wouldn't have gotten Christopher Nolan Batman. I can't think of Patriot. Everybody I know actually especially when you compare it to something like Batman or Robin. Batman shouldn't have his own special Batman credit. Doesn't make sense. A character who's hiding his identity does not have a he'd be like, oh, I'm Batman. It's written by Bruce Wayne. I don't really know the guy, but he's a big fan of mine, so yeah, he gave me a credit card. He's funny. Yeah. That ugly broad. She basically said some inflammatory stuff about, you know, basically everyone who has anything that's again, the primary that I can figure out what sense that any of that makes. So, yeah, that's a thing. These guys doing? They're coming up.
I'm out of range. Can't do that yet.
Like everybody in the movie is basically just making it worse. And on top of that, basically, I guess there's evidence that Sony took.
Can't do that.
Everybody, you know, had the initial reaction of, "What the hell is wrong with you? Why would you guys do this to the Ghostbusters?" Once they realized that, sexist or whatever. So the only comments that were left were people who were like, "These broads need to get back in the kitchen" or something. Like that's pretty much the only comments that people allowed. They just wanted to make it look like, well, this movie does fail. It's because of this. Why do people like these persons? Hillary Clinton and Ghostbusters cast on her show. Not necessarily it's on the same show, but don't worry about these women and their allegations of rape. They're all liars. Let's bash them. Destroy those women. Women's rights. Unless they're against me, then I will crush them. Whatever. I don't. That doesn't make any sense. Go back and talk to some douche.
I am forsaken.
But yeah. People who think Hillary Clinton is for women's rights are some of the most gullible people. I'm not saying Donald Trump has shown exactly what is wrong with it. And I don't know if it's intentional or not, but nothing else to it. If you look up how you get on the ballot for the President of the United States, it's actually by paying a lot of money. There is a requirement for a certain number of signatures. I mean, getting people to sign a...
I can't do that. I can't.
sign or something that says, hey, get the president, something like that, is about as hard as it is to get people to, just random people to accept you on Facebook. It's not. One out of every people probably accept you. Especially if you have an attractive female as your face. And you can tell me that's sexist all you want, but let's be honest. You like Facebook. Or it sends you an invite, you're very likely to say, yeah, okay, even though it's probably some, you know, gross dude that's just trying to follow a picture or something. Yeah, how people are. But, yeah, I don't know.
I can't do that.
It's not that hard to but that makes sense that you need. But the thing is, you have to spend, like, to get your name on the actual ballot, you have to spend, like, it's some money. Or it might have been that you can. So I think there's two options. You can either anyway, certain amount of money to put yourself on the ballot 3 times. You have to get a signature. You don't have to spend it. I think that is how that worked. So yeah, the system is fundamentally broken. Is pretty much all that it comes down to. If you're the president, you just have to be rich. That's it. That and, you know, either be, I don't know, I don't know how Donald Trump necessarily got so far. Like, I understand it, kind of. I mean, you know, he used the same kind of method that people use to get through Survivor TV shows, and the same way that, not really the same way that Ronald Reagan became president. He was an actor, so if you have some amount of initial fame, it's a bit easier. Because everybody, if you're a household name, obviously, how the fuck is presidential campaign? Obviously, take the hard stance on something. It doesn't even necessarily have to be something that's popular, you know. With some people, yeah, controlling the borders and getting rid of illegal immigrants and all that stuff, that's a really important thing. But there's people that go to the extremes on both sides of that. I don't think we have any candidates for president. I don't think we've had even one that's been just commonsensical.
What now?
I'm not trying to say exactly middle of the road, but just someone with common sense and a freaking head on their shoulders that understands, you know, what it means to be a U.S. citizen, human being. Like, I'm certainly more right-leaning than I am left. I don't more right than center for sure. I believe that having a gun is a right. I believe that there's nothing wrong with having a gun. I believe you have to have one in these day and age. It's just like back in older times when people would carry swords, you know, in the medieval era or the shouldn't be a thing and nobody should have a gun. And I was like, well, if nobody has one, then great, but it's not that nobody's gonna have one. There's always gonna be people that have them, and it just makes sense if you have one. I would rather there be good people with guns to counter the bad people with guns. That's why I have one, is because I'm one of the people that's good with it. I wouldn't use it to be like, I don't go out trying to be a hero. I don't carry a firearm because I want, you know, I don't go out looking for trouble, basically. That's not what I'm trying to say.
I can't do that yet. I can't do that yet. I can't do that.
Having guns isn't inherently a bad thing. Yeah, it'd be great if we didn't have them. The Pope mentioned that, you know,
Victory
he thinks it's crazy how we live in a place where, or we live in a world where guns can so easily go between different borders and things, and they're traded so freely. And I understand that. That's, you know, I get it. He's kind of right, sort of. I mean, yeah, it would be great if everybody in the world got along and everything was peaceful and whatever, but people are going to kill each other even if they don't have guns. If you look at, just go ahead and watch the movie, or not the movie, the TV show, what's it called? Forensic Files. So, or really any murder mystery shows that talk about how. Oh, I got a little satchel.
Spirits be with you, man.
But any show that talks about how, you know, people have committed crimes and
What can I help you
got
with?
away with them, or they got away with it for a long period of time, or whatever. You watch any of those, and you'll find pretty quick that a lot of them don't happen from guns. A lot of them are, you know, this crazy asshole pretty much came in and strangled this person, or, you know, there's just not that many murders or shooting kills. There's a lot of people getting killed with, like, you know, knives. Like, probably the worst ones are usually knife related. Or, you know, other weird, terrible ways to do things. But,
Speak, friend.
guns aren't the thing that's causing people to be dead or be murdered. The thing that gets people killed is they're in the wrong place at the wrong time, or they hang out with the wrong people. You have to understand that there's like a saying
Go
that's
forth
kind
to
of
victory.
old. And it's, if you lay with dogs, you'll eventually get fleas. Something close to that. That's basically just if you associate with bad people, you're gonna get into trouble. Just because that's the way it works. If you're around a dangerous situation, you're already halfway to getting yourself screwed over, getting something happen to you. Man, nothing stuck in my throat today. Let's see. It's only 4 levels tonight. Wow. Only. Let's see if we can queue for one more. It'll be something I haven't done yet. Oh, it's not. Nope. Oh no, it is. Cool. Stockade. This one's actually, I haven't done this one in a really long time. Somebody actually asked me. To 60 because of XSplit, so I'll occasionally bounce above to match your frame rate. Or 120 frames per second, because you know. Hellfire Citadel, and I really don't feel the need to keep doing it. I'm not a big
I can't do that. I can't do that.
I pretty much just
I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm out of range.
Skill's part of it, but what it really comes down to that point is So I wouldn't mind doing heroic convention if I had a really good group to do it. I just don't like wiping over and over. It's not fun to me. Doing something one time, not one time, doing something through the Stuff go, you have to, or the mechanics of it, they are somewhat difficult, but I think I left before we got the other boss down. Why would he do that? About 60 right now. That's interesting. I wonder why it's doing that now. It was a loading thing. Oh, so anyway, so my frame rate's not locked at 60 anymore, so that's cool. I don't know why it's doing that. But yeah, as you can see, my frame rate just running around, and in that dungeon, I was, going up pretty decently. I'm averaging, I don't know, I can't really come up with a solid average, but I would say if I had to guess, probably around 90s, mid-90s, would be my average. And kind of go between 80 and 120, so. But yeah. Well, that's 5 levels for a night, so that's not too bad. I mean, I guess at this rate, 5 levels every week, that's one. I don't think it'll ever be at the point where it's 5 levels every. I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep doing 5 levels every week, but I'd have to play for a little bit longer every time. I'm gonna try to start these a little bit earlier in the following weeks. But yeah, so thanks for watching. again, yeah, I'm gonna cut it off. Sorry, but yeah. Again, take a look at the end cards at the end for the Child's Play charity, and put your vote in for what you think the best class for tanking is in World of Warcraft. I'll do some more end card type deals in the future, just because, you know, fun. I want to see what people think, and I'll announce the winner next week. And then, yeah, Child's Play charity, really donate if you can. I realize that not everybody has lots of money to spare, but any little bit you can give, even if it's just $1, is still more than they had. So, you know, give what you can. If you can't give anything, then you can't give anything. But I think everybody can afford at least $1, right? So that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys again on Saturday, where we do, I guess I'm calling it Spooky Saturdays now? Scary Saturdays? Something like that. Scary Spooky Saturdays. Scary Spooky Saturdays. That's what it is. That's what we're doing now. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to be playing Dead by Daylight, which is a newer game. Basically, you have the option of playing as either one of 4 survivors or the killer. And basically what happens is the killer tries to go around and murder all the survivors, or the guys trying to survive, hunts the other 4 players down, and tries to knock them down with, you know, their bloody cleaving weapon, and then picks up the next one immediately. The other 3 players have to try to save anybody that gets captured, while at the same time try to power some generators to escape, open up a gate to escape, pretty much. So it's actually a really fun game. It's real good. I enjoyed it, and it's just a little bit of a learning curve, and definitely had my share of rage through it. But yeah, so hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time, which of course will be Saturday.